We're finding and funding technologies aimed at restoring our planet, and you'll see these products everywhere from your garage to grocery store, powering the machines that make our world work. FPC Ventures is going all in on the next generation of game-changing startups. See what we're up to at footprintcoalition.com/investments.
Happy Earth Day, John Shieber.
Happy Earth Day, Rachel Kropa.
We're here from the Footprint Coalition. I am the Managing Director of Nonprofit and Science, and John is?
I'm the Chief Editor and a venture partner with our investment fund. And thanks to the big boss for introing us and kicking this off.
We were thinking about all the things that are solutions oriented, and since we focus on fostering environmental technology, it's of course ubiquitous, but there are a couple places we think are kind of the sneaky, sexy things that you might want to know about today. We know that you know a lot about food, probably. People have been talking about behavioral choices around food for a long time, but we're not going to talk about those things today, are we, John?
No, we're going to talk about something even more exciting: light bulbs, electricity, refrigerators, all of the greatest and coolest things that you find in your home every day.
There are so many companies that are working on technology and have really great scientific research, working on things that have to do with the difficult to abate area of infrastructure, with the built environment.
And it's really important to think about this because actually building the buildings and built environment are responsible for about 39% of greenhouse gas emissions globally. And about 30% of that, 26% of that, is from the operations of the home. That's the air conditioning, the heating.
Yeah. And air conditioning is a huge one. Hence, the Global Cooling Prize recently, where people are really trying to focus on making air conditioners at least 5 times more efficient, because more and more people are going to need them as the wet bulb temperature continues to rise over the course of the next several years. There's some new kind of Jetson-like technology. I think that's really fun, which replaces 100-year-old technology for things like circuit breakers. Like the electric panel is being reinvented by a lot of companies, I think, but a premier one is SPAN. And SPAN, controls every circuit in your house and every zone, down to the individual usage, the individual items that you have in your kitchen, the individual appliances that you have in your laundry room.
And that applies actually to buildings themselves too, right? So there are new kinds of software companies that are out there that are making the design of buildings more efficient. These are companies like Cove Tool, which is a design software. So all of this is happening, and it's all around reducing consumption, which goes a long way towards making it possible to bring more renewable energy onto the grid, because there's less stress on the utility grid, on the power grid itself, which is super helpful.
Yeah, and even our friends at Turntide Motors, who were saying that the switch reluctance motor, as you know, is like a super old idea, but just was never possible until you had supercomputers that could switch a motor on and off extremely fast. And I think what you're talking about with the super Jetsons future has to do with things like fusion. What could really escalate our timeline a lot is the ability to have high temperature superconductors that allow us lower cost fusion systems, right?
Those are things like Commonwealth Fusion is one company that's using a very old design, like a tokamak reactor. And fusion energy is the stuff that powers the sun. So this is incredibly energy dense, incredibly powerful types of power production. There's also another really interesting energy generation source that's worth talking about called geothermal energy, which has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. But there are new, more powerful versions of geothermal energy that sort of tap, pun intended, into technologies from the oil and gas arena. And all of these things incrementally can make a huge difference from a policy perspective, just to make sure that this stuff, you smooth the way for this stuff so it becomes possible to move away from fossil fuels.
All around us, it's part of our most basic set of needs, and they are operating and doing their thing and using a lot of energy on a regular basis. So just be mindful as you go about all the things that you can try that are solutions that are available today and the things that are coming soon, and be a champion for them. Happy Earth Day!